Shalom, son, Chris. God, Shalom. God. Yayan, which means wine. YAHANNA, which means to Israel. John. Shapar again. God. Salaki, prayers. Bible shirt. Yeah, God. I'll look for it. Throughout, appreciate it. Saw upon your, I imagine which means to stand. Saw upon your Hagodam, which means try to face the east. We gotta do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kowa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Natalanawa, Lakam, Kar, Yuwam, Wasalakanawa, Kagwatanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kagwatiyanawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayanawa, Banasayawan, Abba, Hawashaynawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Baha'ala, Batapara, Laulamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. A cock, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babu Kushah, the thunder now, a cock, La'ba'ah, Kal Makalah, Kal Madawa, a cock, La'zahar, Hamatazarayim, a cock, La'hakmi, Hamakia, a cock, Arakawa, Tala'ala, the Darshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name Yahushai. Please, give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Hahayim, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah Mine, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, Warataza, Al-Yatan, Al-Wat, Galka, Al-Yanawam, Shemaka, Hanala'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yishan, Shalamah, Yashrala, Yahweh, Shemaka, Yahweh, Tzalka, Aliyah, Yamyanka, Yalamah, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayara, Alayala, Yahweh, Yashemaka, Kalrai, Yashemah, Ahmapashka, Yahweh, Yashemah, Yazahaka, Abuaka, Ma'aika, Ma'ayavalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night.
Lord is moved by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Adami Alakam. Ata Kirash.
Ata Kirash.
Wa Ata Shikwat.
Wa Ata Shikwat.
Allah.
Allah.
YAHANNA.
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 YAHANNA 1. Wamashanayaka. Nasha'awa. Rash. Alaimaka. Nariyamwa. Suwad. Wayataya Aitahawa. Altahawanyaka. Amawa. Rakawa. Wanakakira. Magoya. Walaha. Yashka. Sham Yashrala. Lawad. Kaya. Nava Aitahawa. Love. Yikaro. Alika. Maya. Yakarafa. Ahalia. Anwam. Yashima Alia. Mawaba. Vangari. Kabal. Ma'anawan. Manalak. Shah. Shani Shabia. Taz of War. Yam Ashu War. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zarwat. Labanyalawat. Salah. I.S.U.P.K. Kamadian. Kasaya Saraha. Kayabian. Malakal. Kwayashwan. Nashamadwa. Bayan the Ara. Hayawa. Daman. La Adama. Shaitamwa. Nadayamwa. Kaira. Wakazahaba. Wakazabak. Wakazamana. Kal Nasir Kamwa. Asha. Amawa. Nairasha. Lanawa. Nawa. Alhayam. Alhayam. Shaitamwa. Gangla. Wat. Panyaraka. Ka'at. Ira. Kalaba. Talat. Hayam. Kantabudakma. Basa Erica. Babasal Paska. Kabalam. Malaha. Anyam. Walawan. Wayabakwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Wabashwa. Wayabahawa. Ayai. Wayakapawa. Wayabadwa. Wayadaiwa. Kaya. Ata. Shamka. Yahawa. Wabaka. Aliwan. I'll call her Arakaza. In English, keep not thy silence, O power.
Keep not thy silence, O power.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O power.
O power.
For lo, thine enemies make it tumult.
For lo, thine enemies make it tumult.
And they that hate thee,
they that hate thee,
I've lifted up the head.
I've lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
Against
thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said, Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel
may
be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And Hagrid. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Isupk also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sarah. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red. And like Zahab. Yea. All their princes. As a Ba. And as Amuna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the house of the power and possession. Oh, my power. Make them like a wheel. As a stone before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid of thy
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy
Oh Yahweh,
Oh Yahweh.
let them be confounded
Let them be confounded.
and troubled forever.
So forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame
Let them be put to shame.
and perish,
Perish.
that men may know
And then they know
that thou,
Thou,
whose name alone is
whose name alone is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
art the most high
Most
of
High,
all the earth.
over all the earth.
Barakatah Yahweh in the Hebrew. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Mayakah?
Why Yahweh?
Why Alahayah?
Why
Matazab Yah.
Yahweh?
Alawak Yahanna.
Yahweh?
Ha Alawak.
Yahweh?
Ha Sharanya.
Yahweh?
Ha Kotazayanya.
Yahweh?
Ha Kayayaya.
Yahweh?
Waha Kwafia.
Yahweh?
Yahweh.
Yahweh?
Bashim Yahushai.
Yahweh?
What Aman.
Yahweh?
In English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushai.
And Yahweh.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commander General Yohanna.
And Yahweh.
The generals.
General.
The captains.
Captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
And assistants.
And assistant.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
And Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
In English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
All things.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punish and destruction.
Punish and destruction.
And Salaki. Salaki, bear with me 1 second. God, to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punish and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. And to enter thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punish and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, Skinheads, Posse Kamikaze, Gay Movement, Lesbian Movement, Spies, Workers of Witchcraft, National Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves. Cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit, any of our people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction, all the heathens that stand in the way, or try to stop us, from broadcasting your words, throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro, through the earth, and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief, and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel, come down with the flying saucers, punish all the heathen that come up against us, as we speak thy word, because we know by all, that is the angels that have done it, because we spread through the media, throughout the whole world, causing the Shekathai coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always, so be it. Salaki, Yahweh means hands down. Cyrus means turn. Yeshua. We have another John. Okay, come. Please. So what is that? 20? Okay, Con. So we in 21. You can bear with me. 2 Kings 21. No, 23 and 21. Okay. First one. Wayatawa ha malak a kal haim la amar I.S.U.P.K Pasak la Yahweh ala hayakam kakath Kakathwa I.S.U.P.K ha baraya Hazak 22 Kaya La'a Naisha Ka Pasak Hazak Mayam Yum Ha Shapatyum Ashar Shapatya Wa Ab Yashrala Wakal Yamya Malakia Yashrala Wa Malakia Yahawada 23 Kaya Am Ba Shamanav Aishara, Shana, La Malak, Yawu, Naisha, Ha Pasak, Haza, La Yahweh, Bayarashalam, 24, Wagam, Av, Abawat, Wa'av, Hayadain, Yum, Wa'av, Ha Tarab, Yum, Wa'av, Ha Galal, Yum, Wa'av, Kal, Ha Quatazayum, Ashar, Nara'awa, Ba'arataza, Yahawada, Wa Bayarashlam, Bayar, Ya'ash, Lamain, Hakwayam, Av, Dabaria, Hatora, Ham, Katab, Yum, Ail, Hasapar, Ashar, Matazar, Kalak, Yawa, Ha-Kahan, Bayav, Yahweh, Wa-Kamah, La'a, Haya, Lapan, Yawa, Malak, Ashar, Shab, Al, Yahweh, Bakal, Slakia, Lababwa, Wa-Bakal, Napashwa, Wa-Bakal, Ma'adwa, Kakal, Tora, Masha, Wa-Akar, Yawa, La'a, Kwam, Kamawa, 26. This is 26. Ak, La'a, Shab, Yahweh, Makar 1, Abawa, Gadawal, Ashar, Hara, Abwa, by Yahweh, I'll call Ha-Ka'isayam, Ashar, Ha-Ka'ayawah, Manasha, 27. Waya Amar, Shalaki, Yahweh, Gam, Ab, Yahweh, Asayar, Mail, Panya, Ka Ashar, Ha Sarath, Af, Yashrala, Wama Asaf, Af, Ha Ayar, Ha Zaaf, Ashar, Bakarath, Af, Yawashalam, Waaf, Ha Bayaf, Ashar, Amarath, Yahaya, Shamya, Sham. And that was the last one for that, 21. And the king commanded all the people, saying, keep the Passover unto the Most High your power, as it is written in this book of the covenant. 22, surely there was not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel, nor the kings of Judah. 23, but in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein this Passover was holden to the Most High in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers with the manuscript in the wizards and the images and the idols and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest filmed in the house of the Most High. Salakia. And like unto him was there no king before him, that turned to the Most High with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him rose there any like him. So yeah, this is like the best king after really David and Solomon. Well, even that really, he's kind of a little above Solomon because he never fell off. 26. And notwithstanding, the Most High turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. And let that be a lesson to you. God will stop a sentence or hold back a sentence for a wicked man, even if he intends to still do the sentence. Like, because Manasseh is his father, and he came into power, and he turned around and stopped everything evil his father was doing. But because of his father's evil, I'm still going to kill youngers. I'm just not going to do it while this good man is in charge. I'm going to wait till he goes and he's dead and his stupid son comes into power. When that idiot and there's a wicked bastard back in power, y'all dead. Okay? And that's the point sometimes of actually doing the right, being righteous, because at the end of the day, you can stop evil that's supposed to come to your house just by your righteousness. Or at least hold it off until you get the hell out the way. Right? Like, what's it called? You go through something like, you don't understand why you might get evicted until God burnt you, turn on the TV, and the house is on fire. That's why you got evicted. Right? God 27. And the Most High said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there. Yeah, he burnt Jerusalem to the ground. You know, right after the king arrested Jeremiah for saying, you know, God's about to burn this city to the ground. You know what happened? The Babylonians came and released Jeremiah from jail. Like, yeah, you good. We burnt your king's eyes out, and killed all of his sons in front of him before we did that. But you're good. You're out of jail. You can do whatever you want. Right? He'll stay a sentence and like put you in the position just to hold. Yeah, you stay in this jail cell so none of these idiots think to cut your head off, Jeremiah. Jeremiah's just chilling in jail Paul said in his scripture. Like, and all things I am a base. I know how to fall back and live abundantly. Jeremiah was sitting back in jail. I don't know the Most High's plan, but I know there's a plan in this. What's called? I want to make Daniel the #1 guy inside of Persia. I want Darius to trust Daniel over everything. Let me have this nigga put him in the lion's den and have that nigga live. Okay, something's weird about you. You're special. You stay next to me in all things. Right? John, now let's get back into this. 28. So I'm gonna do everything. John. Wayathar, the Baya Ya'ashua, Wakal, Ashar, Aisha, Halal, Ham, Katawab, Yum, Ayl, Sapar, the Baya Ha Yum, La Malakia, Yahawada, Bayam, Yua, Isla, Parai, Naka, Malak, Matazarium, Ayl, Malak, Ashur, Ayl, Nahar, Paraf, Wayalak, Ha Malak, Wayash Yaw, La Quarav, Wayam Yamayaf, Toa, Bamagad, Karath, Aswa. Okay. 30. Wayarakaba, Ibad, Mouth, Mama God, Wayabaa, Yarashua, Kwabara Bakwabaras Kwak Ein Ha-Arataza Av Yahweh Kaz Ban Yashyawa Mashakwa Athwa Malayakwa Athwa Takav Abayawa 31 Ban Aisharyam Shalash Shana Yahweh Akaz Bamalakwa Shalasha Kadash Yum Malak Bayarashalam Washam Amwa Kamawatal Bav Yaram Yawa Malabana 32 Aish Harai Ba'ayanya Yao Kakal Ashar Aishwa Abath Yawa 33 Asaraf Parai Naka Barabala Ba'arataza Kamath Ba Malak Ba Yashurala Yathan Ainash Ayul Ha'arataza Ma'ab Kakar Kasab Wakakar Zahab 34 Malak Parai Naka Parai is Pharaoh Av Alayakwayam Ban Ash Yaash Yulu Atakaf Salaki Takaf Yaash Yulu Abayul Yasab Av Shamwa Yahweh Yakwayam Wa'ath Yahweh Akaz Lakwak Yaba'a Matazar Yam Yamath Sham, and that's it.
Salaki, so
Khan.
yeah, you should say Harai. What was it? English?
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh.
Khan. You good. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles, which is the next book we're going to deal with? Of the kings of Judah, there is a Chronicles of Israel, but the white man burned it. Khan. In those days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him, and he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo and brought him to Jerusalem and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his fathers had done, except for his actual father Josiah. He followed after his grandfather. 33, and Pharaoh Necho put him in bands at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah, his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, and took Joaz away. And he came to Egypt and died there. Okay, so now you're seeing why. Now you're seeing he did what he wanted. He eventually had the brother die or be killed rather, so he could fulfill his plan. I don't like y'all. I want to kill y'all. I want to burn y'all to the ground. I got to get him out the way. So yeah, I'm gonna use Egypt to do it. Your son wants to be a wicked bastard, and so you're gonna be dealt with in a few months, and then I'm gonna have your brother reign because that's who's in charge. It wasn't his son; it was his brother's son. Because this cat came into power about 23 and only reigned for like 4 months. And that was what? So we're in 35 now. What side is this? We just finished the third set, right?
Just finished the 2. We're on 3.
Yes, we did. Okay, come. Shit, you hurry. 35. All right. Wahakasa, Waha Zahab, Nathan, Yahweh Yaquayim, La Parai, Aka, Ira Yak, Harataza, Lataf, Hakasab, Ion Paya, Parai, Ayash, Kairak, Nagash, Kasab, Wa'af, Hazab, Ain, Harataza, Lataf, Laparai, Nakab, Ban, Aishara, Yum. We're in 36. Wahamash, Shana, Yahweh Yaquayim, Ba Malakwa, Wa'aka, Aishara, Shana, Malak, Ba Yarashlam, Washam, Amra, Zabayada, Baf, Paya, Mun, Rawama, Waya Aish, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Kakal, Ashar, Aisha, Abakiwa. This is 24 and 1. So that's okay. So 4. Bayam Yua, Isla, Na Bakad, Na Bakad, Dana Atazar, Malak, Bakal, Yahya, Lawa, Yahweh Yakam, Kwayam. The Most High rises, if I'm not mistaken. That's what this name means. The Most High rises, if I'm not mistaken. Ibad, Shalash, Shanayam, Wayashab, Waya Marad, Bawa, Way Shalach, Yahweh, Bawa, Av, Gadawad, Yu, Kashad, Yu, Wa'av, Gadawad, Yu, Aram, Wa'av, Gadawad, Yu, Mawa'ab, Wa'av, Gadawad, Yu, Banya, I'm a one, Waya Shalakam, by Yahawada, La Abayad, Kadabar, Yahawah, Ashad Daba, Bayad, Ibad Yua, Hanaba Ayam, Aka, Ayel Paya, Yahawah, Hayatha, by Yahawada, La Asayar, Mayo, Panyawa, Bakata, Manasha, Kakal, Ashar, Aisha, Wagam, Dam, Hanakya, Ashar, Shapak, Waya Mala, Af, Yarashalam, Dam, Nakwa, Yu, Wala, Ha'aitazamwa, Mun, Hakwabaya, YAHANNA, I.U.P.K, Hamazabak, YAHANNA, Awa, Kadabar, Yahweh, Ashar, Kwawara, Ayash. Oh, Slack, I'm going the wrong goddamn way. Yeah. Wala'a, Abba, Yahweh, La Salak. That was it. That's it, I know. Yeah, come. On the wrong goddamn way. Salaki. All right, 35. And Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh. But he taxed the land to give the money according to the commandment of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and the gold of the people of the land, of everyone according to his taxation, to give it unto Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedai of Rumah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his fathers had done. The Most High warned us about this. The Most High exactly warned us about this. When Israel complained to Samuel about having an actual physical goddamn king, Most High said, no problem, I'll give you a king. Don't cry to me when he's taxing you though. Like, I only want 10p. That's all you really got to deal with. 10p and whatever your regional governor might say, or the cat who controls your region. Like in case they need time to make sure the poor is dealt with and certain other things. That's it. But if you get a king and I anoint this cat's head, anything about y'all is now his decision. He can say, I want 50p. On top of the 10, you got to give the Most High. I got to deal with that. He can really take his sons and force them to fight in his army, not for the protection of the country, just because I see gold in that region. So I want to try to sacrifice your son to get that gold. I'm not going to do that. I only come out when I know I'm going to win a fight or when someone disrespects one of us. This cat will really have the king of Egypt call him and be like, yeah, what's it called? I don't respect you. I'm going to come fight you or talk disrespectfully to him. What? We're going to war. Now you lost all 3 of your sons. Because this cat wanted to do that. He'll put your daughters to work in his little sweatshops and to work in his nice little bakeries and make his money and do all this. What's it called? And Israel said, I don't care. We want a king like everybody else. No sweat. Similar with Joe Biden. Y'all want a president. He's going to help the Asians. Right? And that's what we got. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his fathers had done. 24:1. And in his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. And the Most High sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Most High, which he spake by his servants, the prophets. Surely at the commandment of the Most High came this upon Judah to remove them out of his sight, for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also for the innocent blood that he shed. For he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Most High would not pardon. And let this be a lesson to you. There are things that really aren't fixable. And unfortunately, because he doesn't want to fix it. You can get the Most High so angry. Like, I will finagle this situation so I can continue to punish you. The Most High killed, not let him die in gray hair, killed a righteous man so he could get him out the way and kill his children. This man, why? Because his father shed innocent blood. And it says here, that wouldn't be pardoned. Why is it saying it wouldn't be pardoned? Okay, that's nice that y'all had the Passover better than the judges. You realize that's better than David, right? That's better than King Solomon. King Solomon built the goddamn temple to hold Passover. Josiah's Passover was better. I'm going to still kill you so I can kill your kids. That can't be, okay, that's nice. Y'all had a great Passover. You killed all the Christians. You killed all the Muslims. You really fixed Judah and put it on the right track. I would still kill all y'all, though. Because I got a problem. Y'all were Christian. Y'all were Muslim. Y'all think I forgot? No, I didn't forget. There is something that you can do that even after you apologize and act right, Daddy will still beat you. Yo, I'm sorry I broke the TV, Dad, but I did my homework right afterwards. That's what, take this. That's nice. Like, what's it called? That's like, yeah, what's it called? I know I stayed out past curfew, but my little brother, you know, he was on the right track, and I raised him. I basically taught him everything he knows. He stayed in the house, did his homework. Y'all still all in trouble, though. Like, you've done nothing. Let that be a lesson. Did I finish this off? Ooh, yeah, 5. Oh, this is a short chapter. Count 5. YAHANNA, the Barya, YAHANNA, Wakal, Ashar, Aisha, Ham, Kata, Wabyam, Sapar, the Barya, Hayam, Lamalakia, Yahawada, Shakab, Yahweh, Yakwayam, and Abath Yua. If you could go into the Bible dictionary and look up Jehoiakim. Yakan. Ein Abath Yua. Waya Malak. Yahweh Yakayan. Banwa. Takaf Yua. 7. Khan. Khan. Wala'a. Hasayab, Iwad, Malak, Matazar, Yum, La Tazab, Ma'aratazawa, Kaya, Lakwak, Malak, Bakal, Manakal, Matazarian, Aid, Nahar, Parai, Kal, Ashar, Hayata, La Malak, Matazarian, 8. Ban, Shamana, Aishara, Shana, Yahweh Yakayan, and that's Jehoiakim. Bamalakwa, Washalasha, Kadash, Yum, Malak, Bayarashalam, Washam, Amwa, Nakashaf, Kashata, Bab, Alanathan, Mayarashalam, 9. Wayash, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Kakal, Ashar, Aisha, Abayua, Bai, Hahaya, Isla, Ibadia, Nabaga, Bakada Naatazar, Malak, Bakal, Yarashalam, Wataba, Ha'ayar, Ba Matazawur, Wayaba, Nabakadan Natazar, Malak, Bakal, Ayl, Ha'ayar, Wa Ibad Yawa, Tazarium, Ayl, Yatazar, Yahweh, Yakayan, Malak, Yahweh, Ayo, Malak, Bakal, Hawa'a, Amwa, Bad Yu, Shara Yu, Wasar Yasai Yawa, Kwak Athwa, Malak Babal, Ba Shanath, Shamana, La Malakwa. Jehoiakim. Yakan.
Second son of the godly Josiah, king of Judah. He was originally named Eliakim, whom God sets up.
God.
Which one? Did you think of the name?
Yeah, the name.
And I believe is who God sets up.
Basically, the rise. John. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. I think we're supposed to read that one. All right, John. Shucks. 5. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiakim, his son, reigned in his stead. And the king of Egypt came not again anymore out of his land. For the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt under the river Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt. 8. Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. And his mother's name was Nehushta, daughter of Elnathan. The power gives. That's a nice name, Elnathan, probably. 9. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his father had done. 10. At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. Okay. Let me just read it from the top. Wayatazo Yahweh Yakayan, Malak Yahweh, Ayo Malak Babakal. Yeah, kind of did read this. Wayataza Masham Kal. Watazar wa Bayav Yahweh wa Tazar wa Baya Hamalak Waya Quatazar Kal Kalia Hazahab Ashar Aisha Shalama Malak Yasharala Bahayakal Yahweh Ka Ashar Dabar Yahweh Waha Gala Kal Yasharala Islaki Yawashalam Wa'af Kal Hasharayam Wa'af Kal Gaba Warrior Hakayo Aishar Alafium Gawala Wakal Ha Karash Waha Masagar La'a Na Sha'ar Zawalach Dalaf Ain Ha Aratazar Wa Yagal Ab Yahweh Yakayan Babala Wa'af Hamalak Wa'af Nashaya Hamalak Av Sarayas Wa'af Awalia Ha Arataza Ha Wala Yad Gawala Mayarashalam Babala 16. Wa'af Kal Anashia Ha Kayal Shabaith Alapim Waha Karash Waha Masagar Alap Salakia Hakal Gaba Waryam Aishaya Malakama Baya Malak Bakal Salakia Babal king of Babylon. Babylon, Malak, Babal, Matanya, Dadwa, Takath, Yuwa, YAHANNA, Sab, Shamwa, Tazad, Dakya, 18. Yeah, this is the last verse, right? Come. Ban Aisharyam, Wa Akath, Shana, Tazadak Yawa, Bamalakwa, Wa Akath, Aisharam, Shana Malak, Bayarashalam, Washam, Amwa, Kamayatal, Bath, Yaramayawa, Malabana. John. All right. What is this? Starting at 12, right? And Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother and his servants and his princes and his officers. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign. 13. And he carried out thence all the treasure of the house of Israel, of the Most High, and the treasure of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Most High, as the Most High had said. 14. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen, and all the smiths. None remained save the poorest sort of the people of the land. And he carried away Jehoiakim to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the mighty of the land. Those carried he into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon, and all the men of might, even 7,000, and craftsmen and smiths, 1,000, all that were strong and apt for war. Even them the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. "17. And the king of Babylon made Mattaniah, his father's brother, king in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 20 and 1 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. All right, 5. Right. 19. YAHANNA, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Kakal, Ashar, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Yaquayim, Kaya, Ayel, Afat, Yahweh, Hayatap, Bayarashalam, Bayahawada, I, Hashalakwa, Atam, Ma'ayel, Panyawa, Marad, Tazadak, Yahweh, Ba Malak, Bakal. 25 and 1. YAHANNA, Bashanath, Hata Shayaya, La Malakwa, Bakadash, Ha Aisha Yar, Ba Aisha War, La Kadash, Baal, Nabakadan, Natazar, Malak, Bakal, Hawa'ab, Wakal, Kayal, Ayel, Yarwashalam, Wayakan, Alia, Wayaban, Alia, Dayak, Sabayab, Wakaba, Ha'ayar, Ba Matazawar, Aib, Ishakya, Ishara, Shana, Lamalak, Tazadak, Yoa, 3. Bata Shai, Lakadash, Wayakazak, Harib, Baayar, Wala, Haya, Lakam, Laim, Ha'arataza, Laka Kwai, Ha'ayar, Wakal, Anashia, Malakama, Layola, Durak, Shire, Bayan, Kamathim, Ashar, Ayel Gun, Malak, Wa Kashadim, Ayel, Ayar, Sabayab, Yalak, Durak, Rabba, 5. Yaradapa, Kayal, Kashadu, Akar, Malak, Yashagwub, Athwub, Ba'ira Boa, Yarak Wub, Wakal, Kayal Wub, Napa Tazawub, Ma'ayal Yua. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that Jehoiakim had done. For though through the anger of the Most High it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah, until he had cast them out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Judah. Uh, 1, 25 and 1. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came he and all his hosts against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and they built forts against it. Okay, yes. Let's see how they get into this. And they built forts against it round about. And the city was besieged under the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land. Why? Because they cut off every exit. They surrounded the place. We couldn't go anywhere to get food unless it was inside the borders. And then they basically, you can do things like cut off water supply, so on and so forth, to even more cut out. You'll starve the people to death. And so by the time you even go in there, and you're fighting starving people. Right? 4, and the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled by night by the way of the gate, between 2 walls, which is by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain. And the 5, now it doesn't say it here, but the king, it wasn't just the mighty men that did this, the king also was with them. 5, and the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho, because he tried to flee at night and leave the people to their own devices. He basically abandoned us. And all his army were scattered from him. One thing you'll find out when you read this account in the book of Jeremiah, remember like I said, Jeremiah was in jail for telling them what was happening. It wasn't just the Babylonians are going to come and kill you. The God of hosts, which is the God of armies, says, if you stand and fight this man, you're good, you're valid, you will win this battle. I don't care how starving your soldiers are, God will be with you, and you will not have to worry about anything. But because of, I guess, the fear and the other things, I'm afraid of the coons who support the Babylonians. So I don't want to have to fight like, name a big coon, like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, because they support the Chaldeans. So yeah, I'm afraid of them. So you know what I'm going to do? Tomorrow night, I'm going to run out the back of my own house. The Babylonians caught him, killed all of his sons in front of him, then burned his eyes out. Because this man would not stand and fight. Mind you, he's also leaving us to just be slaves. This is why this but I've done went to the class on this about leadership. This is a perfect example of horrible leadership. Okay. 6. What the 7 of this paratasa?
7.
This is 7 right here.
7 right here.
Most High in Christ. 6. Tapashwa Ab Hamalak Wa Ilwa Athwa Al Malak Bakal Babal Rabal Lafta Waya Dabarwa Athwa Mashafat Wa'af Banya Tazadak Yawa Shakatwa La Ayan Yawa Wa'af Ayanya Tazadak Yawa Tazadak Yawa I work Waya Asara Banaka Shafya Waya Ba'awa Bakal 8 Wa Bakadash Ha Kamayash Ba Shabai La Kadash Haya Shanab Tashai Aishara Shanab Lamalak Na Bakada Na Bakadana Tazar Malak Bakal Ba'a Nabawazar Ra'at Khan Naba okay right Naba Zaradan Nabu Yakan, that's one of his generals. Rab Tabak Young Ibad Malak Bakal Yarwashalam Wayasharab Av Bayath Yahweh Wa'at Bayath Hamalak Wa'at Kal Bathya Yarwashalam Wa'at Kal Bayath Gadawal Sharab Bash 10 Wa'af Kalamah Yarwashalam Sabayab Natataza Wuf Kal Kayal Kashadium Ashar Rab Kabakium Wa'af Yatar Haim Hanashar Yum Ba'ayar Wa'af Hanapashium Ashar Napalwak Ayub Ha Malak Babal Wa'af Yatar Hahamawan Hagala Gabawazar Adan Nabawazar Zaradan Rab Tabakyum 12. I started at 6, right? Yeah, count. Yeah, count. That's the last verse. All right. Wa Madalaf Ha Arataza Ha Shayar Rab Tabakyum La Karam Walagab God. So let's finish this in English. 6. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him. And that is the most disgusting thing ever. Like, you got a heathen, an African, judging you. Right? Okay, and they gave judgment upon him. And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and bound him with fetters of brass, and carried him to Babylon. 8. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem. And he burnt the house of the Most High, and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem. And every great man's house burnt he with fire, all the mansions. He burnt down all the mansions in basically, he burnt down the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side. He ain't really touched Harlem like that, except for where the white people live. The poor were left alone. Khan. Chat, Khan.
Is Daniel around at this time?
Daniel would be a kid. He would have been one of the kids kidnapped and brought to Babylon. Those who don't know, the Babylonians were much better than our oppressor. It took our oppressor 400 years to realize George Washington Carver was picking cotton. And Gerald A. Lawson, the cat who invented the cell phone. And Henry T. Sampson invented the cell phone. Gerald A. Lawson invented the battery that makes video games possible. It took the white man 400 years to realize they had them picking cotton. The Babylonians understood, like it said before, he took blacksmiths, so on and so. We're an educated people. You don't use us as gardening tools. The Babylonians took us and quickly forced our children into their education system so they can learn their language and actually be integrated into the society, which is really just make my society better. It took the white man 400 years to do that, but that's mainly out of fear that white people, even when they did eventually try to fight for our freedom, the menace detractor is if you let them go free, they'll take over the country. So that was the whole thing about that. One thing you'll find out, Babylonians were not very strong people. They were able to force their way and just take us over. They weren't cowards like the so-called white men. Things that a coward race will do, like Egypt, like General Hyman put out, pyramids were a waste of resources. The only purpose for the pyramids is that it's what a weak nation does to a stronger nation when they have to keep them preoccupied, so they don't try to fight you. So that's basically someone said something. Yeah, basically give them BS to do, so they have basically us here in America. Why do you think you can complete your job in an hour and your supervisor is going crazy trying to find more work for you to do? Because he doesn't need you either. There's a purpose for that. Khan, was that the last verse? The captain of the Khan and all the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about. 11. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon with the remnant of the multitude did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. And there's an interesting thing about the walls because it's funny, when we came back, we had to rebuild that. The scripture says my brother had a hammer in one hand and a sword in the other because we didn't have a wall, we had no defense. So we had to be the wall and fix the wall at the same goddamn time. 11. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon with the remnant of the multitude did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. 12. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husbandmen. Meaning what? Y'all can have Creflo Dollar's house. Y'all can have Michael Jordan's house, Shaquille. These people are either dead or put in slavery. You can have their house now. So yeah, Khan with that. Wait, that was 12, right? Khan. Husbandman is another fancy way to say a farmer, obviously a vine dresser, someone who takes care of grapes. Grapevines. Like Martha's, don't think like what's it called? Think Martha's Vineyard. And that's what we had. And one last thing I'm gonna say, what's it called? Always remember this, there's so much of our culture that's not that's just gone and destroyed. Shapar, which means horn. Which means to Israel. Shapar again. So that was what is that? 12. Yeah, 25 and 12. Throughout it. Most High Christ. God, Most High Christ. With that, I imagine, which means to stand. Side upon your hakodam. Turn and face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Dash, I.S.U.P.K, YAHANNA, Taba'ah, Zaka, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, come, call, you want, what's love now, Kawat now, Kaslat now, Kawat now, Wala'ah, Tabi'ah now, Manasai one, Abal, Hamashem now, Ayan, Right, Kai, Katisaki, Kaya, Laka, Hamalabra, Ra'ala, Tapara, Lavalamium, Amen. In the English, our Father, John Heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power. And the glory, forever. So be it. I got the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh. My Shem Yahushua. Abu Kashab. Talana. Kak. Larba'ah. Kal Manawa. Kak. Lakahar. Amataza Rider. Kak. Lahapio. Amapio. Kak. Arakawa, Tamala, Darshan, Basham Yahushai, Wadaman. In English, Yahweh, name Yahushai. Please, give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. No manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Asha. Ayanya. This Psalm 121. Salakia. Al-Harlem. Mayan. Naba'ah. Isaiah Ma'an. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Shamayam. Ayatan. Amawat. Gavta. Ayanawam. Shamarka. Anala'a. Yanawam. Mala'ah. Yayishan. Shamamar. Yashral. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazalka. Aliyah. Yamyanka. Yalamam, Hashemash, Ma'ah, Yakaka, Bayarak, Bayala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Karai, Shemar, Pashka, Yahweh, Yashemar, Zaka, Waka, Aika, Now lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite me by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. Alahayim. Alahayim. Adam Yalakah. Alta Karash. Alta Shakwat. Allah. Kayahanna. Awayabika. Yahama Yawan. Wamashinarika. Nasha'awa. Ra'af. Al'amaka. Ya'iriyamwa. Sawad.
Shalom.
Wayata Aitazawa.
YAHANNA.
Altazawanyika.
Altazawanyika.
Amaru.
Amaru.
Akawa.
Shalom.
Akakira.
Kakira.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Walaha.
Walaha.
Azaka.
SHALAM.
Shami Ashrawa.
Shami Ashrawa.
Iwan.
I.S.U.P.K.
Aya.
Yeah.
Nawa Aitazawa.
I.S.U.P.K.
La.
La.
Zikadwa.
Zikadwa.
Alika. Maya.
Maya.
Akaratwa.
Akaratwa.
Ahaya.
Ahaya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Cell phones up, please. Sure. Why Yashma Aliyah?
Mawaya Sha'aywa.
Maraba.
Maraba.
Mahagaya.
Mahagaya.
Bar.
Bar.
Iwan.
Iwan.
Malak.
Malak.
Asha.
Asha.
Anyashabia.
Anyashabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Ashua.
Ashua.
Alawa.
Alawa.
Iman.
Iman.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Alai.
Ayawa.
Banyalawat.
Banyalawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham.
Radian. Kasaya Sarah.
Ashalaham.
Kayabian.
Kayana.
Manakar.
Malakar.
Ayashua.
Malashwa.
Ashamadwa.
Yashmaya.
Ayandara.
Aywa.
Hayawa.
Ayawan.
Daman.
Daman.
Adama.
Aywa.
Shaitamwa.
Shaitamwa.
Nadayabwa.
Naliyapo.
Kairab.
Karara.
Kazaba.
Kazaba.
Kazabak.
Kabak.
Kapazamanai.
Kazarabina.
Khan Nasir Kamla.
Kama is coming.
Asha.
Asha.
Mara.
Mara.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Anawa.
Ayama.
Ah.
Ah.
Nawa.
Nawa.
Ayam.
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 Ayahaya.
Shaitamwa.
Shaitamwa.
Gagla.
Gagla.
Kwash.
Kwash.
Lapanya Raka.
Lapanya Kwash.
Kaash.
Ah.
Tabairi Jairu.
Ayah.
Wakalaba.
Ayah.
Talat.
Tarat.
Hayam.
Ayam.
Kantor Datma.
Kala Tama.
Basanka.
Ayah.
Waba Samfatka.
Why that's what it's called.
Tabalam.
Dalam.
Mala.
Maya.
Hanyam.
Ayam.
Walawan.
Mayawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Kwash.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahaw.
Bashwa.
Yabash.
Wayabahalwa.
Mayahoma.
Ajai.
Ayah.
Wayakapawa.
Ayah.
Wayabadwa.
Ayah.
Wayakaiwa.
Ayah.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Ata.
Ata.
Shamka.
Shimka.
Yahawa.
Yahaw.
Labaka.
Tabak.
Aliwan.
Ayawan.
Al-Kalharatiza.
Alkala Ratiza.
In English, keep not that silence of power.
Keep them the silence of power.
Or not that peace.
So not that peace.
And be not still.
Be not
No
still.
power.
No power.
The Lord thy enemies make it to boast.
So most high entity making the most.
And they that hate thee
And they I hate thee.
have lifted up their head.
I lift up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They take the crafty counsel against our people.
And consulted
And consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against our hated ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let them cut them off to be in the nation.
That the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
be no more remembrance.
So they have consulted together with one consent.
They consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
The tabernacles of Edom
and Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and had reeds,
and Hadrim,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of
The
Tyre.
sword also was joined with them.
A sword also is drawn with them.
They are helping the children of Lot.
They are holding the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them,
Do unto them,
as unto the Midianites,
and unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Japan,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
they became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a rat.
Make their nobles like a
They
rat.
like to have.
They like to have.
Yea.
Yea.
Are their princes?
All their princes,
As a bar.
As a bar.
As a muna.
As a muna.
Who said?
Who said,
Let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to
the
ourselves
house of the power
the house of the power
and possession.
and possession.
All my power.
All my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As they stumble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burning the wood.
And as the flames set the mountains on fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their face with shame.
Fill their face with shame.
That they may seek thy
That
name.
they may seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
In trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
And then they know.
That then they know
That thou.
that thou,
Whose name alone is.
whose name alone is
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the Most High.
Of all the earth.
of all the earth.
Blessings in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
YAHANNA.
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 B'tazah B'yah.
B'tazah B'yah.
Alawat Yahanna.
YAHANNA.
Ha
YAHANNA.
Saranyam.
Saranyam.
Okay. Ha Kwatazayanyam.
Kwatazayanyam.
Ha Kayayanyam.
Kayayanyam.
Wahakwathyam.
Wahakwathyam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
B'Hashem Yahushua.
B'Hashem Yahushua.
Tawadaman.
Tawadaman.
In English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And Andrew.
And Andrew.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And assistants.
And assistants.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Salam. Turning in English. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and
And
earth.
all things living.
In all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Evils and curses.
Said evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
Heathen.
The heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against
The
us.
prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The
The
priests.
Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
That evils and curses.
Said evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
Heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasure.
The
treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to get to the school.
I refuse to get to the school.
What's their riches?
What's their riches?
And to enter that sanctuary.
Enter that sanctuary.
Said evils and curses.
Said evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Kamikaze.
Posse Kamikaze.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Workers of spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
National Space Program.
National Space Program.
Army.
The Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
The Air Force.
Marines. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Access channels.
Get access channels.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Any of our people.
Any of our people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
Bring swift destruction.
Bring swift destruction.
All the heathen.
All the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
To try to stop us.
To try to stop us.
Broadcasting your words.
Broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
The earth.
To the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague.
Let the plague.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Down with the flying saucers.
Punish all the heathen.
Punish all the heathens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause we known by all.
Let it be known by all.
That is the angels that have done it.
That it is the angels that have done it.
Cause we spread through the media.
Let it be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake thy coming.
Let them to shake it thy coming.
Name Yahushua.
Name Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
YAHANNA, which means hands down. Saul to turn. You said you could be seated. Sisters, be seated. Man of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Man of Israel, I'm Shabbat. Majid, Barak, YAHANNA, YAHANNA, hands down. Saul to translate the sisters. Sisters, I'm Majid. Man of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Man of Israel, I'm Shabbat. And Majid, Barak, YAHANNA, YAHANNA, hands down, dismissed.